At what point does the cost to carry the condo or the townhome, is it so insurmountable and ridiculous that the property almost has no value? Welcome back, guys. Well, it's no secret, Florida has a huge condo and townhome problem, and I think we are headed for imminent disaster here from what I'm seeing. When I share the number of listings for condos and townhomes that we have added year over year, statewide and in local markets, I think it is going to make your jaw hit the floor. It was almost unbelievable. To me, I had to double, triple check it. These are all stats from the Florida Association of Realtors, but they're so mind-blowing that it was hard to even conceive them. We have a huge insurance crisis going on here in Florida currently, but we also have an HOA crisis. The insurance is not just affecting single-family homes, it's driving everyone's cost up that lives in one of these associations, and it's not uncommon for associations to have their entire master insurance policy dropped, which causes obviously a huge number of problems because then the homeowners have to pick it up either with an assessment or increased HOA dues. And that's sort of what we're seeing around the state. You know, HOAs that were $200-$300 are now getting kicked up into $500-$700. Some people, you know, saw it go from $400 to over $1,200 in the past year. Now, as far as inventory goes, on a whole, single family and condos and townhomes seem to be getting hit really bad in Southwest Florida. If you guys have seen other stuff I've covered, we just have way higher inventory levels than the rest of the state does right now. You know, single family homes, things are still tight in Tampa. They're still tight on the East Coast. They're still tight in most other regions of the state. Even Ocala, I got Ocala's numbers and they're still going pretty good. But the Southwest Florida area, specifically Northport, even down to Naples, is starting to really struggle to sell the properties that they have. But this isn't a video about Charlotte County, guys. This is statewide data. And for November of 2023, this is from the Florida Association of Realtors. The number of listings up in the state of Florida for condos and townhomes was up 50%. That puts our months of inventory at 5 months, which is very high. That's an 85% increase statewide. And what do we got? What do we got going on here? Oh, it's gonna be somebody's best day of their life. Little beach wedding. Nice. Weather couldn't be better for that, guys. It is gorgeous out here today. Even though I had to go in the ocean and chase down my data sheet already. It's a little wet and soggy. I'm not having a good go of it, but yeah, 85% increase statewide in the months of inventory. And it only kind of gets worse as we go further down the coast. 5 months of inventory, guys, is pretty much a buyer's market here for condos and townhomes. Going down the other cities, Tampa, St. Pete seeing a 46% increase in the number of townhome condo listings year over year for November. That is a 63% increase in their months of inventory. Orlando kind of in line, up 45% year over year on listings, and an increase of 85% more in line with the state on months of inventory. But as we go down the list, they get even crazier. Sarasota going from 1,381 condo listings, townhomes listings last year to 2,600, a 90% increase year over year, guys. That is insane. Everybody's looking to list their condos right now. Their months of inventory jumped from 2.3 to 4.7 months, 104% increase on the months of inventory for the Sarasota and Bradenton areas. And if you guys think those numbers are bad, hang on to your hats because here comes Southwest Florida. Lee County townhomes and condos going from 1,075 listings last November to 2,740, seeing 160% increase year over year. Their months of inventory going from 1.9 months of inventory to 6.1 months of inventory, a 221% increase year over year. Not to leave out Charlotte, my hometown. Saving the best for last, guys. Charlotte County's condos went from 190 listings to 634. Obviously not as many because we're a smaller county, but that's a 233% increase. Our months of inventory was 2 months of inventory last November. We have now hit 8 months of inventory. Catastrophic buyer's market territory. That is over a 300% increase, guys. These numbers I have never seen before I'm not sure some of you have ever seen before. This is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's really starting to paint the picture of where we're going to be headed in the spring. I've constantly said we need to get rid of all this inventory that we have in Southwest Florida. We seem to have more than most of the state. We're building up extremely fast here, and now the condos are adding on to it, but that's spreading statewide as well. So guys, let me ask you, if you're in an area and all of the animals start heading in one direction really quickly, what does that usually tell you? What does that usually indicate? Because that is exactly what we're seeing here. Everyone is putting up these units and trying to get out. And I've mentioned this in my previous videos. You know, if you've seen the Florida homeowners flee, and people tell me I'm wrong, and they're not. They're certainly fleeing my area. But now this looks like statewide this is spreading with the condo and townhouse problems that we're having. You know, people are seeing their HOAs just go through the roof. I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars a month. And when you're on a fixed income, that's pretty much the end of it. That's a killer. You're going to sell, especially if you have equity. This is what we're seeing them doing. I think it's going to continue to spread. But once we get in season, once we get in January and February and March, and the rest of the people here list their homes to sell, the former snowbirds, these condo months of inventory could hit 10 months in some places. I mean, those are 2008 numbers. We had our condo sales here really start to slide last year, specifically after the hurricane in Southwest Florida. But then they got bolstered by investors because, as I've told you guys before, if you followed the channel for any period of time, we had a lot of investors bump down out of buying single-family homes that were out of reach and then buying condos. Well, if you've seen some of the other stuff, you know the rents they're asking $3,000, $4,000 a month, even $2,000 a month. Can't compete with anything around here. Houses are about that price. Luxury apartments are about that price. So these guys are also finding that they just bought themselves into a massive problem. They didn't do their due diligence, or unfortunately, sometimes as soon as you purchase one of these things, the next month the HOA levies a huge assessment that no one really could have saw coming. The seller didn't know, you know, maybe there was rumors, but now you're stuck holding this bag and you can't rent it out. What are you going to do? And unfortunately for some of these owners and these associations, it's too late. That's why all these condos are on the market and they're staying there. People are not buying them. They have a right to look at the budget and upcoming assessments, and the writing is on the wall now. It's very clear what's going to happen. These things are probably not going to sell except for steep discounts, and the ones that have not been imposed yet see it coming and they're rushing to list as well. So we've got a really ugly situation brewing here. We've got people who know the writing's on the wall and have listed, but the problem is the buyers seem to know the writing's on the wall. That's why our months of inventory is so high in the state, guys. Looks like buyers are really pulling back in mass, and now we're going to have condos just sitting there as I don't know what price is going to make them attractive. You know, if you've got a one-bedroom condo and your HOA is $1,800 a month, what price will that fetch? At what number is that going to be palatable for somebody, or even for somebody to invest in? You know, and you got a 2.2, your HOA fees are near $2,000. I don't know Florida affordable markets. I don't know who that's going to be for. So, and then come the active season, everyone who sees that it's going to get worse and it's going to get more expensive in their associations is going to start to list as well, adding to this inventory problem. And, you know, at what point does the cost to carry the condo or the townhome, is it so insurmountable and ridiculous that the property almost has no value? And I don't think that's going to happen in a lot of markets, but I think some areas that could be the case because these HOAs have been so underfunded for so long, and people have pushed off and deferred maintenance that once you get a structural review study in there, it could bankrupt. I mean, the whole thing could go under. It could be game over. And for those of you guys that don't know, I am down on Manasota Key Beach today. This is our primary beach here in Inglewood. Looks like this jet ski guy's going to give it another shot. Let me see if he hangs on to his passenger this time. Oh, tearing it up. Oh, there they go. Another thing I want to add is interest rates are not going to affect this situation too much either, even if they drop in the spring or we do 3 rate cuts like they're saying next year, because you can't adjust the insurance and the homeowners association problems. It's not going to help at all with that. That's always still going to be there. Plus, most of our condos, nice basketball game going on behind me, most of our condos are bought cash. as you guys probably know and have seen in my other videos. So I don't think rate cuts are going to do anything for the condo townhome market here, when even cash purchasers, sometimes up to 70% of our condos are cash in any given month. Even when cash purchasers will not touch these things out of fear of what their holding costs are going to be. Another reason why I've kept stressing that the snowbirds who traditionally buy these units and buy in HOAs are not going to save this market either, because they don't want to pay $9,000 to $15,000 a year for a unit that they come to 3 to 4 months at a time. Just doesn't make sense anymore, which is why I think in desirable areas such as Minnesota Key Beach, your seasonal rentals will probably still do pretty good. May even see an increase in demand in those. Airbnbs down here will probably do okay, stuff on the water. I don't think if you bought an Airbnb in Ocala or DeSoto County or somewhere out in the woods that is highly congested with them and there's not a lot of amenities is going to do very well. Though Ocala kicking our butts in sales, honestly, year over year. Ocala is killing it, doing twice as many sales as we are here in Charlotte County. Their median sales price, average sales price, both going up, but currently their median sales price is $258,000. So again, people flocking to that affordability where they can in the state. Maybe it's some of the Miami people leaving. Maybe they're trying out Ocala, I don't know. And if you guys are interested, I'm going to take a deep dive into the housing stats, specifically Southwest Florida, because something is going on here. I don't think it's just the hurricane, but it's almost the complete opposite as the condo situation here. We've got so many months of inventory for homes here and in Lee County. Even Naples area is really getting up there, Northport, but the rest of the state is not. Tampa, really tight from what I saw from November, only 2.7 months of inventory. Charlotte County at 6.2. So again, I'm trying to figure out if this is going to be the epicenter or if it's all hurricane induced. I find it hard to believe every area when hurricanes hit will see sort of an outflow, but not to this, usually not to this extent. This is tremendous in our area. So keep an eye out for that if you guys are interested. You can't shovel sunshine, guys. Happy December. That's one of my favorite things about the Gulf Coast, guys. This thing is usually like glass. Like you can kind of just hang out. Probably a little cold today, not too many people in it, but kind of a rare sight to me, guys. Usually don't see these out here. That's pretty cool. So for all those reasons, like I've mentioned, I don't see snowbirds saving this situation, especially when Atlas Van Lines comes out, and now Florida's dropped down to the 6th most moved to place in the country according to their metrics. We've got Maine and North Carolina beating them out. No surprise there. You want 3/4 of an acre, 2,000 square foot house, maybe a detached garage, $300,000, $350. Go to North Carolina. That's where you get those. They're $650 here, and then you have the carrying costs, as I've mentioned. So again, guys, the next 4 months, I think are really going to determine what's going to happen down here in Florida's real estate market. Single family is going to hold up, I think, in a lot of areas. We'll see. Condos and townhomes are in trouble. Am I off base here, guys? What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.